What's up guys, Drake Kelch here, and today we are talking about the OSEE GoStream Deck Duet. Okay, as you've probably seen by the thumbnail and the title, we have the OSEE GoStream Deck, and it looks a lot like an ATEM Mini Pro, and I think that's the market that they were going for, so we're gonna be talking about it in the context of the ATEM Mini Pro. If you haven't seen it yet, it looks like this guy right here, which this is the OSEE GoStream Deck, and then this is the ATEM Mini Pro. So very, very similar in size, but it does actually have a lot of cool functions that the ATEM Mini Pro does not have. So very, very similar in size. So first off, I wanted to talk about the build quality and price point. These are listed for $400, and the ATEM Mini Pros are $300 for the non-ISO model. Build quality, I mean, it is plastic, but it does feel robust and about the same as you would expect from an ATEM Mini Pro. Feature-wise though, this actually packs a lot of punch in comparison to the ATEM Mini Pro. So one of the cool things is this has 4 SDI and 4 HDMI in. Now you can't use them at the same time, so you can't have 8 inputs, but you can choose between HDMI or SDI, which with the ATEM you have to buy either SDI or HDMI. So this doesn't make you choose before you purchase, it makes you choose when you're using it. It does auto select, so I just plugged in my A7S III into it, and you can see on the MultiView here that's plugged in, and then I also have this Komodo plugged in SDI right here. When I plugged them in, didn't have to change anything, they just auto detected and switched. But in the software over here, you can change from SDI to HDMI on all of the sources. So you can manually change it, or it does auto detect. And currently the switcher is in 60, but this camera is in 23.9.8. I'll even make sure that my monitoring is in 23.9.8. SDI. My output here, yep, 23.9.8. So it does detect and auto convert your frame rate, which is amazing. It is in 1080p. This camera's in 23.9.8, that's in 23.9.8, but they're both still working, which is awesome. One of the other cool features is there is an AUX input, which you can use for multiple things, including an NDI input. But what made me really excited and then later disappointed was I was like, great, you can have 4 camera ins on your 4 inputs, and then you can run ProPresenter lyrics into your aux over NDI. This switcher only allows for NDI HX, which ProPresenter does not output NDI HX, it just outputs NDI. So you'd have to run it through another NDI conversion using NDI tools or something like that to get the HX part of it, to get it into the switcher. So that's a little bit of a bummer that it can't just natively run ProPresenter lyrics NDI into the switcher. And I've tried ProPresenter, Resolume, NDI tools, different things, and I had all of my 3 computers talking to each other, except for the only way to get into here was going through NDI tools HX. So that's kind of a bummer. Hopefully they update the firmware there, or maybe ProPresenter allows for HX output, but that'd be sick. But it's not quite there. That was my one bummer. So currently you'd still have to either run a conversion or plug it in direct. Other than that, you have 2 HDMI outputs, which is amazing. So you can have program and MultiView, 2 USB-Cs, so you can run a laptop for control, an SSD for record, or another cool feature is if you have something like the Insta360 Ace Pro 2, which has a webcam output, you can plug in USB-C into that, select a webcam on the camera, and then under your aux you can select, and you can have your webcam. It is a little choppy on the MultiView. Let's see what it looks like on the program up here if I select aux. Yeah, it definitely looks a little choppy coming out of the camera on my program there. So little maybe not usable. I don't know if that's the switcher or the Insta360, but it is a cool option that you can take in a webcam input over the USB-C. So another cool feature. I love being able to have the MultiView and the program output. That's fantastic. It does have an SD card slot on the front, so you can record to the SD card or to the USB-C. And then looking at the panel itself, hardware-wise, you have a program and preview bus, which the ATEM Mini Pro does not have. And then it does have a T-bar, so you can crossfade, which is kind of cool. You can select your 4 cameras, your AUXs, and your stills, and you have like a whole media pool that you can put stuff in. It's not quite as drag and drop as ATEM, but it's pretty user friendly, and you can drag a still in there. I have a LAD logo in there, just in my still pool. And then it has 2 keyers, a super source, and those keyers can also be pips, but it also has a super source, which is amazing that this small package has a super source in it. That's pretty sick. If you don't know what a super source is, it's so you can do like a picture and a picture and a background, which this allows you to do that. I don't think I have it. Oh, I do have it kind of set up there. So there's me and the other camera, and then you can assign a background to that as well, which is pretty sick. One of the really cool advantages of this device is you technically don't need the software control, which I have pulled up here. So far the software control makes sense. It works. You can change your keyers and your transitions and your super sources and your IP and all that stuff on here. But if you don't have a computer, you don't have time to connect, or you're on location and your network's not working, or you can't control it, there's an option. You can hit this menu button right here on the unit. It pops it up on your MultiView here. Now you can use this scroll knob to change all of your settings on the MultiView. You don't actually have to have the laptop to change anything. We can even go down here to our keyers, which are actually up here. Key type, Luma. We can go through all this. You can even change your stream keys on here if you want to. You have stream 1, stream 2, stream 3, all on here. So the ability to change things quickly on the fly without a computer is honestly a huge plus. With the ATEM, you can change stuff on the panel, but if you really need to get into it, you actually have to go into the software to change things. So there's been countless times, like when we were driving in a car and we didn't really want to leave or bring the laptop with us, but we had to because we're using ATEM Mini Pro, where this, we could actually go in and change stuff in the menu. That's kind of clutch. I think that that is a huge benefit to have on the ATEM, is that you can go into the menu and change whatever you want to without the use of a computer. Another really cool thing is that you can run 3 streams at once. So you have 3 different streams that you can set up. So if you're running Restream or something like that to stream to Facebook and YouTube, maybe your website, this lets you stream to Facebook and YouTube automatically. In here, you can set up 3 different streams. We can go over to our stream tab here, and then you can have your YouTube, put in a stream key. You can have your Facebook, put in a stream key, and then maybe let's say you want to stream to Twitch or Restream or Vimeo. Boom. Put in your key, output. Now you have 3 different streams. You can go live. You can set your quality. It's pretty sick that you can stream to 3 different things at once without needing something like OBS or Restream to actually do that for you. So really, really handy. Ultimately, I think that this tool could be a lot better for that all-in-one user. If you're looking for tools like having STI and HDMI in, having control on the unit, maybe you're in a remote situation and you can't have a lot of stuff and you want to just like run this unit, like we've been doing some stream tests in the back of a car, and we have to have a laptop to control some of the things that the ATEM can do. So the fact that we could technically do that on this unit and not actually have to run a computer is pretty clutch. The 3 streaming options is amazing. You have a super source, which you don't have on the Mini Pro. You have to upgrade to the Extreme. You can run 2 pips in your keyers. You can key your lyrics still. You can record internal. It's kind of like that all-in-one unit that can do it all without a crazy amount of extra stuff. I will say there is one thing to note. This is slightly louder fan-wise than the ATEM Mini Pro. You can change it from low to high in the settings, but it is just a tiny bit louder than ATEM Mini Pro. Right, the last few things that I'll mention is, 1, you have a list of 8 macro buttons, super handy. You can webcam out to something like your computer to stream with if you need to do that. So you can run a webcam out over the USB-C, and then you can also change what output is going where. So you have your HDMI 1, you can set it to program, your HDMI 2, you can set it to MultiView, and then your streaming, recording, and webcam out, so those 3 are combined, you can change to something else. So for example, if you wanted to just stream cam 1 but have your program going somewhere else via HDMI, you could do that as well. So you could technically record on an external recorder your program cut, but stream Cam 1 or vice versa. So that is a really cool option that you can separate all three of those. I really like having the 2 HDMI outs. Only having the one on this is kind of a bummer. And then audio input wise, you can take audio in over your cameras like normal, and then there is 2 microphone inputs, 1/8 inch on the back, and then a headphone jack, which is fantastic because literally the other day we were dealing with there's no headphone jack on the ATEM Mini Pro, just the 1/8 inch mic ins, and we were like, how the crap are you supposed to monitor your audio if there's no headphone jack? So you have to plug it into a device that has a headphone jack, blah, 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 blah. So the fact that this has a headphone jack is incredible. So really, really like that. I think that they kind of took a lot of the features that we were bummed about with the ATEM Mini Pro, upgraded them into this unit, and it's amazing. So maybe in the future they make a bigger one that lets you do 4 SDI, 4 HDMI, and you have 8 inputs or something like that. But even the fact that you have 4 HDMI in and then the aux in that could be NDI or a webcam, so technically you could have 5 inputs plus your stills. I mean, it's pretty killer. So I think for $400, this is an amazing all-in-one solution that if you're that person that needs that all-in-one solution, standalone, no laptop, can do it all, I mean, this is kind of the best bang for your buck, and honestly, a killer deal compared to what you're gonna get out of an ATEM Mini Pro. If you have any questions about this unit or anything else, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Let me know what you think about this product if you've been using it yourself. If you haven't hit subscribe, please go ahead and do so now, and we'll see you in the next video.